Rushden and Diamonds, and to non-league football, well, it's just breathtaking, really, isn't it? One day this team will be a league side. I've absolutely no doubts about that.
Hello, how are you, and welcome to AFC Rushden and Diamonds. I'm John, aka Old Man Suda, and it's an absolute pleasure to bring this to you now. As you remember, a couple of months ago I did a poll on my Twitter saying I wanted to do a lower league management save with a Phoenix club. AFC Diamonds won that. It's also my local hometown team. I grew up in Rushden. I remember going to watch Rushden and Diamonds. I've been to see AFC Diamonds quite a bit as well. So this means quite a bit to me at the moment to do this save. But we'll go into that a little bit more in a little bit because there's some other reasons it means quite a bit to me. Before we get on any further, I want to ask you guys a favour. I want to make a target of 10 likes on this video. I know it doesn't seem like a big number, but I'm only a small little YouTuber, so 10 likes to me would be absolutely fantastic. The other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to hear from you guys of what lower league teams do you support? You know, even if you mainly support Man U, Arsenal, Chelsea, or anyone like that, is there any like lower league teams that you always keep an eye out for? You know, always bring a smile to your face when you see that they win a game or stuff like that. It'd be fantastic to find out if there is any teams like that you guys keep an eye out for. So in the comments, let me know what sort of lower league management teams you support. It would just be brilliant, and reasons why. You know, AFC Diamonds, I always do follow them. I also this season started keeping an eye out for Runcorn because I read a little story about them and I thought it was a really nice little story, and it's just I've been keeping an eye on them and seeing how they've been doing. So yeah, that's sort of what I'd like you guys to do. The rest of it we'll go through ourselves. As I said, AFC Rushden Diamonds are a Phoenix club of the original Rushden Diamonds, and I would expect that probably a few of you do remember Rushden and Diamonds. They got up into sort of like the league, you know, into the League 1, League 2 and that sort of stuff. They had some success in the FA Cup, especially in sort of the late 90s as well, you know, against like the likes of Leeds and that sort of stuff. So I'm sure there's people who do remember Rushden and Diamonds. For all you guys who don't know what a Phoenix club is a team that is risen from the ashes of a club that has dissolved. Basically, it doesn't exist anymore. So you know, a good example is Wimbledon is probably one of the best examples of this, because when Wimbledon moved to Milton Keynes, Wimbledon Football Club ceased to exist. The supporters didn't like that, so they created AFC Wimbledon, and the rest is history. And we all know, you know, we all know sort of pretty much about AFC Wimbledon nowadays. But that's just an example. Hereford another example, Darlington another example. I think Halifax as well. There's quite a few out there. So that's that. But like I said, I know that probably there's some people who don't know who Rushden Diamonds are as well, or don't remember Rushden Diamonds stuff. Put a little history vigil together just to explain a bit about the club, and that it's not long. It doesn't go into too much depth, and there's probably stuff that's wrong on there because I've got my Wikipedia and that isn't always accurate. And I was trying to do some of it off memory as well. But we'll watch that, and then we'll come back and we can go through sort of like some of the you know, the club and the finances and all that sort of stuff, and we'll maybe have a look at some of the stuff. I want to introduce you to the manager, and we'll maybe have a quick look at some of the players. I'm not going to go too in depth with any of them at the moment, but I do want to, you know, we'll have a little breeze over and just see what is what. So watch the video, and I'll see you guys soon. Rushden and Diamonds only existed for 20 years, but by God did they cram a lot in. 4 promotions in 11 years saw them reach the 3rd tier of English football. The brainchild of Max Griggs, the man behind the famous Doc Martens footwear franchise, oversaw the merger of Rushden Town and Earthlingborough Diamonds to create the club in 1992. They made quick progression to the conference, and in 2001 entered the Football League for the first time. Only 2 years later, they would gain another promotion, entering the 3rd tier of English football. By 2005, Max Griggs felt he had taken the club as far as he possibly could, and transferred ownership for £1 over to the Rushden and Diamonds Supporters Trust. This made history. Rushden and Diamonds would be the first club ever to be solely owned via Supporters Trust. Without the financial backing, Rushden and Diamonds' future looked bleak, and after back-to-back relegations, Rushden and Diamonds found themselves back in the conference after only 5 years. With financial issues ever at the forefront, things did not look good, and on June the 11th, 2011, the club was expelled from the football conference, moved into administration, and eventually dissolved. Following their dramatic demise, supporters decided to create a Phoenix club, and within a month, AFC Rushden and Diamonds was born. Over the last few seasons, Rushden and Diamonds have found some great success, winning promotion twice. Now find themselves in the Southern League Division 1. Narrowly missing out over the last few seasons in playoffs, they are looking to take that next step and to start rebuilding this once great club, and to prove to everyone that Diamonds are forever. Right guys, hopefully that gave you a little bit of an insight into the club, about where they came from, who they are, that sort of stuff. Just gave you a little bit of an idea. There's a lot more I can go into, and you know, there's a lot more we could talk about as well. But you know, this was just meant to be for a little insight into the club, and over the series we'll talk a lot more about this, about some of the ex-players, some of the people in the club, and all that sort of stuff. So we'll go a bit more into history and stuff like that. I'm sure there'll be stories I remember as we go up through the leagues about playing certain teams and that sort of stuff that I will talk about. As you can see, I'm on the managers page now, and yeah, this is our manager. His name's Stephen Donnell. It's really important, really, for me, this guy, because he's named after my father. And just to explain why, my father passed away unfortunately a few years ago from cancer. He was a massive Rushden and Diamonds fan. He was a massive AFC Rushden and Diamonds fan. Used to go and watch them all the time. Would go and watch the youth teams. When Rushden and Diamonds were having financial difficulty, he would be the guy who'd stand outside the local supermarket, Budgins, for anyone who's watching this from Rushden. It's now Wilkinson's. He stood out there with a pot and trying to earn money to save the club and all that sort of stuff. So my dad was a huge fan, and I thought, if I'm going to do the Rushden and Diamonds save, what better way than to dedicate that to him and to name the manager after him. So he's the guy. I've tried to make him look reasonably like what my dad used to look like. He's a little bit younger than what my dad would be. My dad would have been 68 now. So this guy's a little bit younger. But apart from that, he's born in Peterborough, same as my dad. And yeah, these are all his sort of stats. My dad played football as well. He used to play with Barry Fry many years ago. Barry Fry from Peterborough, that is. So yeah, this is my dad, or this is the manager nowadays. But we'll get now and have a little look at the club as well. And as you can see here, we are a semi-professional club, so that means contracts will probably be more amateur contracts. Money's going to be the issue to start off with, in that sort of sense. But we haven't got particularly very good facilities from the looks of it, and I think, if I remember rightly, if we go here, we are predicted to finish third in the EVO Southern League Division 1. As I said before, this league is two leagues below what would be in vanilla Football Manager, basically. So it usually stops at the Conference North and South. Then you get 2 more leagues down. You get here. It's weird because it goes more regional and that. So I don't want to go into the leagues too much because it's too long to explain. But basically, we're in Tier 8, and Football Manager usually stops at Tier 6. So I am obviously using a database. There will be a link in my channel to the database, as well as links to all my skins and that sort of stuff that I am using. Apart from that, what else does it say? Obviously founded in 2011, as we explained, nicknamed the Diamonds. Finances are okay. Owner status, he loves the club. Rushden Diamonds are owned by a supporters trust or a fans trust, or whatever you want to call it. So there isn't particularly, there isn't a Mr. Smith or a Mr. whatever who owns the actual club. It's owned by the supporters and by the fans. We have one legend, which is Dale Roberts. He was a goalie for Rushden and Diamonds, who sadly passed away. I think it was in 2010 or 2011. I don't want to go into details about his death. I don't feel it's right. I will say this thing: if the game lets me, I will be. What's the word? I will be hanging up the number 1 shirt. As Rushden Diamonds don't use the number 1 shirt in memory of Dale Roberts, so I'll be doing exactly the same thing. If the game lets me. If the game doesn't let me, the best way I can do it is I'm going to basically put someone who's not going to get any games or anything like that, the number. I feel it's right to do in my heart, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, I'm not sure what the game's rules are on that sense, that's all. So if the game lets me, I will not use that number. If I have to use that number, it will be for some little player who we're probably not going to play, whether it's like a youth player or someone like that, or someone in our reserves who I'd say not going to play, will most likely not get a game, because I don't want to try and use that number. So that's Dale Roberts. You can go and Google the story about his death. I don't want to get into it. It's not there's a lot of issues around it and that sort of stuff. All I can say on a personal note is he was sadly missed. He was a fantastic goalie, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about the matter, really. So that's pretty much it. We'll go and have a quick look at the finances. We've got 61k in the bank, 6.1k transfer budget, and we've got a wage budget of 947, and we're only spending 738 of that. So we've got a little. It looks like if I go look on the scouting, you'll see we've got about 200 quid in wages and about 6k. So we've got a chance to bring a few players in, definitely. Apart from that, I think the only other thing we'll do is we'll have a quick look at the squad. I'm not going to go into mass details in the squad, because we'll do that again over the series. We'll meet the players and we're going to go and have a look at players in a little bit more depth. But we'll have a quick look and see who's the real stars. Again, I've got to point out as well, I have put in add players to teams. There's in these lower leagues, the game doesn't have enough players always for all the teams, so I've had to have it so that some regens come in. I can tell you now that the only regens I think, I'm just going to check actually, this guy might be a regen. I don't think he is a regen. The regens will be these 3 players here who are all grey. They may look good and they may turn out to be good, but they aren't real players, unfortunately. Just to prove that, Mark Woods, as you can see, there is a regen. The rest of the players, as far as I'm aware, are all real players. I recognise a lot of the names, so but it's not an uncommon thing to happen, and other people who've done lower league management saves will probably have done the same thing. It's just to try and help fill the teams up, because they don't have a lot of players, these teams. But like I said, we'll have a quick look and see if there's who our big sort of stars are. And now, you can see sort of straight away that we've got 2 big looking stars here, which is Nabil Sharif, striker for us. He's been at the club for, I think he's been at the club for a little while now. 45 appearances, 19 goals. Played for a number of teams. He played for the original Rushden, or he was there at least as a youth prospect, I would imagine, at that time. But yeah, he's been at Rushden and Diamonds for a little bit now. If we go to his history, you'll see he's been here 3 seasons, and last season he had a really good 19 goals in 43 appearances. Not too bad. Looks like a really good player for us, and yeah, he'll probably be our main striker, to be honest. Looks really good. The other sort of outstanding player is Claudiu Hoban, Romanian. Claudiu Hoban. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, to be honest. 25-year-old Romanian midfielder. Can play out on the left. Looks like he can play out on the right as well if we need him to. Again, his stats look pretty good. I'm going to change the stats actually, just to show that a bit more, like, for the level that they're playing at. Because at the moment, green is like for anything over like 10 or something like that. And the truth is that these sort of stats here would be really good players for our league. I mean, him and Sheriff should probably be playing at least in the league above, if not 2 leagues above. So I will change that for the next episode just to make it a bit easier to see. So they look like there are 2 outstanding players. We've got a couple of good other players here with Joe Curtis, Ross Alton, and Jack Ashton as well. Looks like he could be pretty good. And we've got quite a lot of potential from the looks of it. When you look at a lot of these players, they've got some really good potential. Joel Gassi, German, it looks like, young striker. Again, it looks like he's got great potential to be something really good for us. So there's a lot of positives here. We'll quickly look at the 23s as well, just see if there is anyone in the under 23s. A couple of really good players with potential. Again, I think these are all going to be regens, unfortunately. Yeah, but got quite a few. We'll look at the under 18s, and oh my word, there's someone with 2.5 stars at 16 already. If that's the case, he could become something really, really special for us. Yeah, his stats look really good. Attacking midfielder, can play out on the right as well. I think he could, give him a couple of years, he could be an absolutely fabulous player for us from the looks of it. Brendan Brendan Karach, I'll call him. Yeah, we'll call him that. If you've watched any of my previous saves, you know I'm not very good with names. I should be a bit better than my Dortmund save with names here, as most of them are English, but we'll wait and see. I'm sure I will mess up a few of them. Dynamics wise, things don't look too bad. A bit of match cohesion. We've only just started the game though. That will get better, I would imagine. Hierarchy. Liam Dolman, who is a defensive centre for us, is our sort of captain and main guy, and I'm sure he will stay there. He's not a bad defender at all. Could do a bit better when he's marking and that, but he's not bad at all. And he's our sort of team leader and captain. We've got Richard Burnton as well, 35-year-old. He's been around the block. He's only probably got another 1 or 2 seasons in him, but again, you know, he's got great sort of quite good mentals, and physicals aren't too bad, I guess, but overall he should be alright for us. But we're going to get to a couple of players in anyway, so that won't be a problem. But we'll get through the rest of it anyway, sooner or later. And that's it, guys. It was just an introduction to show you the team, talk about them a little bit, and explain some of the saves to you. We're going to go into a lot more depth about the team and that over the course of the series, and hopefully get to know a lot more of these players and the actual club in the future. The series does start on Monday, December the 4th. So it's going to be a week from today when this video is released. If you're watching this in the future, you'll just click the next video, won't you? So it doesn't matter. But just in case you are watching this as it gets released, please remember again, like I said at the start of the video, my target is 10 likes. It would be an absolutely amazing if I could get that. So drop a like, please. Subscribe to me if you're interested in following the series. Hopefully this will be a long series that's going to last most of the time of Football Manager 18. I'm looking for this series to last 150 episodes or something like that, if we can get it that far. So that would be absolutely fantastic if you lot can follow me, this journey with me. Come and, like I said, come and subscribe. Come and say hello on Twitter. There'll be some funny Twitter little handle come up in a minute somewhere. It would be great again for you guys. Come and say hello on Twitter. I am active on there. I do like to talk. It'd be great to hear about some of your stories on there as well. And that's it. So all I have to say is, like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I will see you on episode 1 coming soon. Bye for now.